Hello and welcome to another episode of FPL Journey to 10K, the series and YouTube channel that looks to help you understand what it takes to finish in the top 10,000 in FPL. And yeah, we'll tell you about the fixtures, the form, and all the stats, but it's really that secret weapon we've got in our back pocket that'll help us get there. That is, of course, my co-host, a man that was ranked in the top 5 in the world. I can't get my words out, Matt. I'm so excited to introduce you. Ranked in the top 5 in the world going into this season. It is, of course, Mr. Matt Corbridge. Matt, how's your week without the FPL been?
Hey Dave, you're right, mate. Sometimes you stumble across your words when you meet your heroes, right? So
That's
I,
it. Exactly
I
that.
I get it. Yeah, I'm good. I'm kind of like got a bit of a side eye looking at the Wales game, which is happening at the moment. Wales against Turkey, and then keep an eye on Croatia versus Armenia. Croatia have just gone 1-0 ahead, so I'll probably turn that off now.
Oh,
But
good job you're doing so well in the Nations League, eh? The
yeah,
playoff looks assured at least.
playoffs, yeah. Well, they're guaranteed. So I think that's done. Auto qualifications out of the question now. But yeah, I'm good. I mean, how are you? You're looking a bit tired, a little bit sporty. There, have you been up to anything?
So,
You training?
it'll shock you. It'll shock you today. Been out running, so I didn't have time to do my hair like I like to do for you, Matt. I like to do my hair up usually, but I thought, now we'll just whack a cap on, get out of the shower, whack a cap on, get my Liverpool top on for you. The Welsh boys have done it for you. The ex-Liverpool boys have done it for you today. Wilson, with an assist, I believe, for Williams. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm bringing you some luck for the Welsh chat. I couldn't do anything about Croatia though. I apologise.
No,
I tried.
I appreciate the support. I appreciate the support.
Yeah, but yeah, well, so it's been a week without FPL. I appreciate you sometimes like that little bit of a break, but you're excited to be back.
I am. Like normally, well, I'm glad this weekend was one that had no FPL fixtures because I do like. We're allowed to like other sports. I do like Formula One. I do like the fantasy version of Formula One. And I was doing very, very good until so it's like 2 million players. And I was on the precipice of like top 100, like, and with a chance to get like top 50, if not more. But yeah, I had a few events and activities and get-togethers with friends on Friday. So yeah, I missed that deadline for that. So I would probably miss the deadline for FPL as well. So it's probably
Uh,
a good weekend to go without it. So
that is the killer. The amount of times my brother texts me to say I've missed the deadline, and it's always when he's going to do a transfer that happens to bag, and he's
yeah,
always like, "Well, if I hit it's like, well, I don't know, set a reminder. I can't help you with it, I'm afraid." So
exactly.
it's
Have
a
you
shame
missed any?
you missed
Have you
it.
missed any before? Any like notable ones that you just like?
I'll be up no because I play it. I always set the bus team for a start, and I don't think
Yeah,
my brother does that. So I
yeah.
always set a bus team. As soon as the game week kicks off, I'm set my bus team for the next game week. So even if I do, it's not overly horrific.
I
But I
was
don't recall missing anything. I'm too
no, I was
obsessed,
expect,
so
no,
it doesn't happen.
I was expecting a creative like excuse for like one season. That's why you didn't hit a top 10K was because you missed some deadline. So to be
Every
honest, I'm
season.
the same as you. Yeah, do the kind of bus team, and then if there's a risk of you missing the deadline for whatever reason, if you're out and about, I'll probably just do it when I'm out and about. Like, hey, cool. There. The one time I did miss it, I did a bit of traveling 2019 and 2020, and I was this is my excuse for not a 10K rank in that season. I was in Cuba for a couple of weeks, right? And you literally can't access the internet there. So I missed like a few double game
Oh,
weeks when I was in Cuba. So that's my creative
what
excuse.
you finished like 17,000th,
Yeah.
and you missed you missed like 3 game weeks.
So,
So realistically, you finish in the top 10K when you think about it, because that is mental.
yeah. Who was I stuck with? That I was really pissed off when I like got back to when I went to the US, then fly back to kind of UK. Who did I have? Oh, who's the big guy from Wolves? Like the winger, Traore.
Traore,
Yeah,
Adama
yeah.
Traore.
That was Pete Traore, and like when he like flirted being a proper FPL asset, and then he was just stuck in my team for like 3-4 weeks, and I just couldn't get rid of him. So
Cuba
yeah,
wouldn't let you sell him.
Yeah, that was
Oh, yeah, it's a good reason to do. It's a good reason to miss it, mind. Holiday.
yeah.
Doesn't sound
I
too bad.
would I'd definitely take that over. Yeah, rum and cigars over
Yeah, yeah.
beanstalk. Okay, yeah.
Maybe that's what I'll do next season. But yeah, we'll jump in. We obviously covered our results from game week 12 on the last episode. So today's reel is, as the title suggests, prepping for game week 13. So we'll touch on a few bits and bobs. So kind of jumping straight into the fixture ticker,
Mm.
as it's planning. So this is from a defense point of view, thanks to the fix for supplying the table. I purposely made it the next 6 game weeks based on what you said last week about
Oh,
looking to
okay.
bring in transfers
Okay.
with like a 6 weeks focus. I generally did 5 game weeks, but this is an interesting one because it then brings in game week 18, where obviously Brentford and City blank.
Hmm.
One thing I did notice about this is defense wise, looking at the fixtures, I think Newcastle, West Ham, and Liverpool are from the top half on that table. And I'm just going to jump to the attack because on the attacking fixture list, only West Ham and Newcastle from the top half are on it.
Yeah.
Now, I appreciate the fixtures make a big thing for you, and I'll go back to the defence one for you. But is this the sort of time then you'd be looking at maybe bringing in a differential or making a breakaway from maybe something that would be considered template?
Yes and no, because I think the key is when it's a good team with good fixture run, right? So like you've got some good teams there with good fixture runs, but like generally speaking, it's average teams with okay fixture runs, right? So
Yeah,
nothing's screaming out at the moment to like jump away from like the kind of obvious kind of picks. I mean, like we're looking at a defensive point of view, and according to Fix here, it's West Ham with the best fixtures from a defensive point of view the next 6, which is cool. So I'm an Ariola owner, as are you. So hopefully that clean sheet will finally come. I mean, 2
I'm
nice
hopeful.
fixtures the next 2, like Burnley away and Palace at home. Well, Palace look a bit reinvigorated from an attacking point of view. So I'm not sure that's an easy fixture anymore. I mean, Newcastle stand out as well. So I don't know what the latest is on Botman versus Lascelles and kind of whether he's kind of like his knee problems are like prolonged or whether he's like back in training. But Lascelles, I think you've got him, on you. But like
Yeah,
for me, he's a potential exit route for cash if I want to clear up some money. So I have Matty Cash still, and that would be nice because that saves me not far from £1 million to put in the bank. So that's pretty appealing. Liverpool, obviously the super tough Man City away fixture this week in game week 13, the hardest fixture that you've got all year. But then like a nice run of the 3-4 game weeks, and I'm quite happy with Simicast as a Simicast owner there. So yeah, I mean, like, am I going to look at this and say I'm going to bring in a Burnley defender or a Sheffield United or Forest defender? Probably not. I mean, if I want to free up some cash, there are some teams I could flirt with, right? So, like Fulham, I don't think are too bad, right? So I could kind of consider a kind of like a cash downgrade to one of those players. But yeah, I don't that sweet. West Ham, I don't think are a great defense, as we know as Ariola kind of like owners. But like, there's no team that's like got beautiful fixtures and are just a good team
yeah.
there, right? But bar the ones you've mentioned. So yeah, I'm not going to jump onto a Bournemouth defense or a Forest defense. I think, despite the
Yeah,
fixtures,
yeah.
all about balance. Yeah. What about you?
All
Yeah,
about balance.
someone screaming out to you? Are you desperate to get rid of? I don't know.
So, well, I do want to sell Matty Cash as well,
Yeah,
and I did think about getting like what last week was it? Maybe whenever yeah, last week I think I thought about getting in Kufal, but it's like I don't want a West Ham double at all. Yeah, we spoke last week about West Ham and Villa, and West Ham have had is it 1 clean sheet all season, and Villa have had
yeah,
2.
yeah.
So I've got no interest in doubling up on West Ham, so I'm kind of looking at it. I could sell them for 5 million. I could take a punt on a Liverpool defender, but no, it doesn't excite me.
No.
I need to think of an exit strategy for Lascelles. So I've just had a look at Botman. Apparently, he's not far back off getting back into training. So I think I need to start thinking of a way I can move him on
Well, that
eventually. I'm not in a rush because I've got
no.
other
Well, you can
playing
always bench
defenders.
him, right? You can always bench him, and like,
Exactly.
I mean, that seems too ambiguous. I want to see him back in training before you're looking to move him on, right? Because it's a serious
Yeah.
injury that seems to be a bit
Yeah.
ambiguous in terms of what it is. So I reckon you've got a
Yeah.
few.
It just says it's round the corner. So
I need
yeah,
need to have
it's
something
like
to like hang on to, like with all those injuries, right? So it's that little like bit of hope to give to the Newcastle fans, but he ain't going to be rushed back.
yeah,
The Suns are fine as well. I'm not
that's
making
it.
upgrades to him like for them as a team, but like he's adequate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
He's a
yeah, yeah.
perfectly
As
okay
well, he's the
defender.
captain when he plays, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't to put too much like emphasis on that. I feel that's probably less a I mean, he's definitely like a club captain sort of thing. Obviously, Trippier's the proper captain, isn't he? But, like,
Yeah, I'm just trying to make myself feel better. It's a bit like when it, why would you bench your defender, your captain? But that's then the attacking ones.
hmm.
And as I say, well, Liverpool aren't even on this, which surprises me. It's like, how are Liverpool on the defensive best for the next six when their defense isn't that good? Yet their attack's one of the best in the league, and they're not on the attacking fixture. That makes it is what it is.
Hmm.
But again, is there anybody here that, or is it similar to the defense piece where you're just looking at it and think, okay,
I
maybe a
mean,
Newcastle, maybe a West
yeah.
Ham?
I mean, on that point, it's obviously what Fix provide here is they're just looking at it as the pure fixture lens. They don't add the strength of the individual attack or individual defense, right? So I think if they were basing it on the strength of the attack as well, this fixtures, Liverpool would probably appear on this, as would Man City, as would Arsenal, as would all the top teams, right? So you got to apply that
Yeah,
manual lens onto it as well. But yeah, teams from an attacking point of view, I mean. It's not that pretty reading, is it? Really, when you're looking at it. So, like
yeah,
notable teams that we'd be targeting. So, yeah, top is Fulham, Forest, Burnley, Wolves, West Ham, Palace, Sheffield United, Newcastle, Bournemouth, and then Everton. Like, I mean, teams that you'd probably be targeting would be realistically with assets that I think are viable as West Ham, Bowen, of course, but like we'll talk about whether he's
yeah.
injured or not. I hope. Not to wish pain on anyone, but like yeah, I kind of hope he's injured because yeah, he'll be a kind of threat. Palace short next three, some nice fixtures: Luton, West Ham, Bournemouth. Then two very tough fixtures: Liverpool, Man City. Before an easier attacking one in 18 against Brighton. Yeah, I can keep talking about Eze. Two returns since he's come back. Penalties every set piece. I think he's a kind of awesome option. Newcastle, this really they were poor when they against Bournemouth, but you'd think that the international break has helped a few players kind of like get recover a little bit from fatigue. You'd Bruno's back, isn't he, as well? So he makes a kind of a big difference. He's probably one of their best players, quite key for them from an attacking point of view. Isak, I think, is flirting around coming back, so I think he'll be an interesting option. I have Gordon.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not massively happy with him. He's okay. So again, yeah, you're not talking about a huge amount of viable assets here, are you? You've only got Bournemouth and Everton. So
No,
Solanke, I know you got him. I like him as a option. I know you benched him last week, so yeah, well done for benching your nailed on
the top
penalty
scorer.
taker at home. No, I get it. And then
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, Everton have been good this season. Obviously, they've had the deductions and the points deduction since we last
yeah.
spoke. But yeah, they're performing as a mid-table, if not top half of the team, top half of the table team, like from a underlying stats point of view. And they've got some good attackers, but no one screams out. It's quite a meh, like list of
Yeah,
good fixtures, right?
I know what you mean. I'm quite quietly happy.
Yeah.
Solanke's not on the bench this week. I'll tell you that much. Spoiler. Away at
Mm.
Sheffield United, and he's a bit of a differential. Quite happy
Yeah.
that I've got Gibbs White, even though
Yep.
he's
Yep.
not.
Yep. Yep.
I'm
Yep.
not happy with them both long term, but for this game week, um, and even next game week, and
I
a
don't think
couple
you
of
can get
fixtures
rid of
for
Gibbs
Gibbs
White
White,
though.
I
That
can leave
run,
him.
Brighton at home,
Yeah, I'll
Everton
leave
at
him
home,
in.
Fulham away, Wolves away, Spurs home, Bournemouth home. I think you've got to keep him for the duration. You've probably got
I will.
better transfers to make. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I've got other fires, and I think I'll keep
Um,
Gibbs White for the next 5 or 6. There's just other things I need to do,
all
but
he needs to do is get an assist from a corner like once or twice, and it's like happy days. And I still think he's
yeah,
on penalties. I don't know if Winey is going to take penalties. That would be quite funny. But I think all the assumption is Gibbs White is on pens, right? So we speak about it every
hopefully.
game week, but pens make a hell of a difference. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
kind of assist from a corner and a pen and like happy days, you're laughing, right? So I don't think you can get rid of Gibbs White. And Solanke, I know you're toying with getting rid of him. He's good as well. He's good as well. So you're in a happy place there. I mean,
Yeah, it's like
I've
game week
got poor record.
17.
I mean, it's yeah. They're not going to hammer a team, are they? Bournemouth though. That's the thing. So like, but I reckon you'll get a few attacking returns. So
Yeah,
you've got some representation. Me, out of these teams, I've only got Gordon from Newcastle, those fixtures aren't good, are they? It's the game week 17 and 18 that they're getting better. Fulham and Luton away. Before that is Chelsea, nah. Man United, nah. Everton, no. Spurs. So that isn't a good run. That isn't a good run.
all away. Well, those two, Everton and Tottenham away. Yeah. So you're not going to sell. You're not selling Son for Willian. That's what you're telling me. Don't go and do that.
Maybe we'll see. We need some drama, right? Drama, some interest.
Yeah. See what comes. But you briefly touched on the flag situation. Now it is international break. So I want to know. So I'm going to. I'll put fun with flags. If you're a fan of The Big Bang Theory, you'll get the pun. I didn't come up with it myself. Thank you, FPL Tom Jones, our pal, who came up with that one. But yeah, like so these are probably the bigger owned players. So obviously Haaland's massively owned. Edison went down, Onana's gone down. Bowen, who you've already touched on. What's your gut telling you? Do you think these are typical international break injuries, or do you think something's a bit more serious with them? Now, appreciate Matoma might be slightly different.
Yeah, well, I think Matoma's one. Well, this is all speculation, so I don't know how much, and we're not informed with this stuff, right? I don't have any insider info, and neither do you. And I've got no medical background. You
text off Pep.
Yeah.
Just let me know.
But like, yeah, Gus says Matoma is a real thing. Haaland and Edison, I highly doubt that they'll be kind of missing that Liverpool game. No chance. Bowen, I hope he's missing the next game week as a non-owner, and he's like a threat through like loads of game weeks kind of going forward. So I hope he's out. But I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if he's pictured in training. But yeah, my hope was be like he'd be desperate to get into the England squad and try and get a starting place, right? So you'd think he'd be wanting to jump at every opportunity. That's just me just doing a random explanation. So yeah, probably like you said, probably all those ones that are listed here with 75% chance of playing. Not that that means anything, right? I don't think we can take the FPL ratings as anything too serious, but I think all of them will probably be playing up. It's probably typical international break injuries to get a bit of rest other than Matoma. But we shall see. I mean, Bowen out would be very fortunate for me and for you as well. Like a one week out would be pretty nice. Because who West Ham playing? Is it Burnley they're playing?
Burnley.
Yeah,
Burnley away.
I don't think that's a great game. It's a good game. I don't think it's great. So I mean, what's the worst you can do?
Lost it. Yeah. So now interesting. So if that was Burnley at home, then what would you think?
Well, exactly the same. I hope he's injured.
Yeah. But would you think it's a better fixture?
Yeah, of course it would be. Yeah. I mean, I don't have the stats to back it, but like my gut tells me, and from what I've seen, I think the home away kind of like split is quite significant this year, as it is most years.
It is for Burnley. Okay, so Burnley have got 4 points on the board, a 2-1 win away at Luton, and a 1-1 draw away at Forest. Every single home game this season they've lost. 2-0 to Palace, 4-1 to Chelsea, 5-2 to Tottenham, 3-0 to City, 3-1 to Villa. But yeah, so they're yet to get a point at home.
What I was hearing there though is that they've played a lot of good teams.
They have played a lot of the good teams. Yeah,
and all those teams are better than let's ignore Palace and stuff like that, but all those teams are better than West Ham. Sorry.
Yeah. And you're right. So just to read them again, the ones that they played at home. So Palace, 2-0 to Palace. But then it's Chelsea, Man United, Tottenham, Villa, and Man City.
Yeah, well, that's probably as hard as you can get. Add Liverpool to it, and then that's like as hard as you can get from an attacking point of view. So Yeah, I'm trying to convince myself that you can go without Bowen. He's injured, and also
Yeah,
they're not going to score.
it's a tough fixture. It's one of the toughest places to go in the league. So,
I mean,
no,
what are the
I'm with you
chances
though.
that,
I go on,
sorry, mate, I
sorry.
was going to say, what are the chances when we talk about our differentials that one of us picks a West Ham player? Probably quite high.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
I reckon. But yeah, I'm with you. I'd like him to be injured because I kind of want to bring him in, but I'm not. We'll come on to it, but I probably won't end up bringing him in.
Mm.
But that brings us on to potential transfers.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're both going into this game week with one transfer. I know you've got two. I think have you got two?
I've got the
No,
one
both
as
got one.
well. Yeah.
Both got the one. So again, this is just looking at the next 6 game weeks. As I say, you mentioned last week that when you're looking at transfers, you always like to look to be happy with that move for the next 6 weeks. So this is what the fix predict are going to be the highest score on players over the next 6 game weeks. Solanke sneaking in at the bottom.
Yeah.
Quite happy to see that. I think that's number 11. I think I purposely went to 11. I usually go to 10. Purposely went to 11 just to get Solanke on there. But what's interesting is Salah's top. Yeah, that doesn't surprise anybody. He's only 3.5 ahead of Haaland, who obviously blanks in game week 18. So that's that's an interesting one. But looking at that, I appreciate we're talking about transfers, but looking at that and captain options, that apart from game week 15, I mean, Haaland looks captain, maybe a Salah, captain, Haaland. So 4 of the next 5.
Yeah. Agree.
Yeah, interesting. But yeah, transfer wise, is there anybody on here that jumps out to you? You'll be happy to see Bowen isn't there.
Well, Leno's interesting. Like, I think we were mocking this early in the season when Leno was appearing, and I think he actually scored loads of points, right, just through save points. So, Leno and Allison being on there kind of stand out. I think it's the names you would expect. I mean, I'm skeptical. I'm lower on Arsenal attack than this is. So it's got Saka and Martinelli. So Saka at 28.1 predicted points for the next 6 game weeks, and Martinelli at 25.8. I think Arsenal's attack had been quite mid for a while, and that goes into the second half of last season as well. So I think their defense has been good, but I'm lower on their attack. So I'd probably, despite their good fixtures, I'd probably put them a little bit lower. But it's the names that we expect, and I think Son will be an interesting one because I think the fixtures are mixed. I think it's fair to say for Spurs they're not great fixtures. They're probably trending towards not great. And Son is expensive, and like I think a lot of us will be toying with the idea of what's the effect of Maddison being out on Spurs. Will it be tough? I mean, I'm going to wait a game week. I think Villa at home isn't a bad game for Spurs. I've spoken about them playing a very high line, the highest line in Europe. If you look at the amount of offsides given against, so let's see if Son does well. I don't think he's a kind of sells, but yeah, I mean, this kind of like I guess backs that point of like hold Son, like predicted to be the third top scorer over the next 6 game weeks in the whole game. So yeah, we said when we discussed before, he's probably a hold, not a buy. But is he a sell? Probably not, unless you're trying to massively upgrade your team elsewhere.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it. You might be looking at Son there. That's game week 15, where he's got a predicted score of 7,
Hmm.
which is the second highest of the game week from the looks of it. He's at home to West Ham. That's that fixture, which that
Yeah.
surprises me. That seems like a high predicted. I don't think West Ham are like that bad of a side, are they? I
But you
mean,
think
let's
it
put it
don't
this way:
mean it don't
he's
matter if
7.
don't matter if they're good or bad. It matters if they're good or bad at defending.
Yeah, true, and the bad at defending because as Areola owners, we know there's no
Um,
clean sheets. So yeah, fair enough.
but yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we'll see.
some might be a bit predicted a bit high on this, right? So like, let's wait another game week to see the effect of Madison being out.
Yeah,
It's difficult to say because Son, like, he was bad last year, wasn't he? He was bad last year, but like, and he was like, you could see how he can be quite anonymous if like, people aren't feeding him. But his whole Spurs career, he's had great players feeding him in. Like,
yeah.
yeah, he's partnered with Kane, right? One of the best playmakers in the world, right? And Madison isn't Kane, but Madison is a good playmaker as well. So let's see if he can, have to say
Do it
with like
without.
Bentaker and
Lo Celso.
Exactly.
But
Uh,
your Welsh hero, Johnson.
Brennan Johnson.
He's actually he's been all right the last couple of games for Spurs. To be fair to him, I'm taking the mick, but he has been all right. He got a goal, did he
I,
not? I appreciate he got beat by Wolves in the end, but he got the goal. I think he got an assist for Son not too many weeks ago. Seems to be getting a start over.
he's a decent wing. He's a decent winger. He's a decent winger, but like he's not a playmaker, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go on. I see you've just checked the score. What is it? What are we talking?
Still 1-0 both games. So yeah.
Both games. There you go. But yeah, this is so that's but we'll come back to this because we'll obviously see what your plans are later
Hmm.
on. But that's just to give people an idea of who the predicted best scorers are if you're considering some transfers. The big one this week, the fixtures aren't great for anybody really. You know,
Mhm.
you look at who people are playing, and they all look a bit, So the big players that you'd usually captain. Haaland,
Yeah.
well, he's at home to Liverpool, not an easy fixture. Salah, well, he's away at Man City, not an easy fixture. You might captain Son. He's got Villa, but there's that then.
Mhm.
How does he play without Maddison? Newcastle play Chelsea. Man United are away at Everton. Arsenal are away at Brentford, which isn't an easy fixture. So
Hmm.
the only real of the teams in the top, only really. I mean, West Ham even in the top. I don't even know where they are in the league, but they have away at Burnley. And then, you always talk about the Whipping Boys. So Sheffield United, well, they've got Bournemouth. And I don't think anybody, including me, has the guts to go and captain Solanke. And then Luton, who are Whipping Boys, by the way. That I know they're in the bottom, but they haven't been beat this season by more than one goal. But they're
Oh
playing
really?
Palace. Really? Never been beat by more than one
What,
goal.
home
I'm
and
just going
away?
to double check that whilst you talk about your captain options.
Maybe I believe that stat based on home, but away surely they've been beaten more than one goal. I'm really shocked by that. But they did draw with Liverpool. That Spurs only beat them by one goal, I think. But that was the red card. So yeah, I'm quite surprised at that. But yeah, my captain will be
I've,
Haaland. So
I've made it up. Oh, wait. So they got beat 3-1 by Villa. They got beat 3-0 by Chelsea, and they got beat 4-1 by Brighton. But yeah, all away from home. So they're away, and they are at home to Palace. So at
cool.
home, they haven't lost by more than one goal.
Well, you're getting better and better with your technical skills each week, so I reckon you can probably just like dub that out, and then we'll say like they haven't been
Yeah, don't
hammered.
get rid.
They haven't been hammered.
That's what I said.
At
That's what I
home.
said. I said about that at home. I said it was at home. I don't know
We've
what you're
lost
about.
we've lost all credibility now. Oh well, oh well. But yeah, my captain will be Haaland. So yeah, quite
Yeah.
simple, I think, for me.
Is that because you just think everybody's got a tough fixture, so you may as well go with the tried and tested, or do you think against the Liverpool defence at home, that's the
Yeah,
obvious move?
I think it will score the most points. That's whoever I
Simple,
go for,
simple as
whoever I
that.
pick a captain. But like, yeah, it's kind of like Man City at home, Haaland with the best stats in the game, underlying stats, and yeah, Liverpool's defense not being elite, good but not elite. So yeah, I think it's, and that there's not. I just don't see a better option. So yeah, I'll be going
Yeah.
Haaland.
To give you some of the Liverpool stats, so against looking at the last couple of fixtures, expected goals conceded against Brentford, despite winning 3-0, was 1.57. At Luton, 0.81.
Hmm.
Against Forest was 0.45. They recently played Brighton and it was 2.3. 1.44 against Spurs, 1.11 against West Ham. So
It's
yeah,
not, they're
they
conceding like
have.
1.5 expected goals against any decent attacking team, right? So Man
Yeah,
City are the best attacking team. So yeah,
yeah,
that kind of backs the view of like Liverpool are a good team, but they're an attacking team, right? So it don't matter if Liverpool win 4-3 and Haaland scores the hat trick. That's fine. That's what we're looking
yeah,
for, right? Yeah.
exactly.
So, yeah, that's
I'll take that
yeah, yeah,
as a
exactly. I'll take
red.
that as
I
well.
will
Like,
happily take that.
who's scoring the 4 goals
Yeah,
for Liverpool? Then you know.
all Salah. You know what? I will happily. And Nunes gets. You know what? If Nunes scores four, Salah gets nothing, and Liverpool win 4-3. I will be over the moon for you.
Do you
Over the moon.
do you see his goal against Argentina? So like, it seems every international break he's cool as anything. Like scoring for
Yeah,
Uruguay,
yeah, yeah.
brilliant goal, like, lovely little dummy shot, and then like slotted in past Martinez, lovely.
It's honestly, and he gets a lot of stick. But I know why you've got him in your team. I say it every week when we talk about Nunes, but he's for me one of our best strikers. I would play him week in, week out. Unfortunately, Klopp has to
that's
keep other strikers happy, so
that's
it's what it is.
that's high standards. There, he's one of Liverpool's best strikers, competing with Gakpo and Jota. He's up
Well,
there. He's
Gakpo and
got
Jota
three
get
strikers.
goals. So he's second. Obviously Salah's number one, but he's not far off. Well, yeah, he is quite far off. So Haaland is also my captain, and we'll
Yeah.
then come on to show our um our teams very shortly. But questions from us, my favourite part of the week. Now, I always want to start off with a principle of FPL question for you. I like to
Okay.
just get your thoughts on the principles, how you play differently to somebody at maybe my level, where I'm finishing maybe 100,000 and you're finishing usually close to the five in the top 5,000, let alone the top 10,000.
I understand.
So this
Is this a genuine question, or was this for sound bites out of it?
both,
No.
genuinely both. If you're not
Yeah.
following our TikTok, then we have got one. So feel free to join us on TikTok.
Got to hop on it. Work
But
smart. Work smart. Smart. Let's get this recording done in
exactly.
one. It's a
So you've
podcast,
got
YouTube, and now TikTok. Yeah, look at this.
so you've got to answer this question in under a minute, so it fits my TikTok reel. So the question for you is all about early transfers, because obviously a lot of players are flagged during the international break. It might move prices. People might panic. So what are your thoughts when it comes to early transfers?
Yeah, I'll try and avoid them wherever possible. So if I have one free transfer, I'll try and wait to the last minute. I value information over any price changes. The exceptions will be if I have two free transfers and there's a major price swing. So the player I'm trying to buy in going up in price, the player I'm selling going down, and then that locks me out of a transfer that I really, really want. But that's the exception rather than the rule. Right.
Nice and easy.
Did I get
Nowhere
in,
near a minute. I'm happy.
was that in 60 seconds? Done in 60 seconds.
It was in about 25 seconds, which absolutely works beautifully. So yeah, don't worry about that. I'm happy with that. Much
Cool.
obliged to you.
Done one take.
But
Look at
straight in. Questions from the audience. So FPL Cruyff, I'm going to go back a page to help you out with this one, but FPL Cruyff is a non-Haaland owner.
that. Oh.
His question is, where are you putting the armband?
That is tough, isn't it? That is tough. Let me have a look at the fixtures as well. I'm not going to captain Leno. I would go Bowen. Actually, if you have Bowen, I'd go Bowen.
Over Son. He's got Son. He definitely has Son. I don't know whether he's got Bowen, but would you go Bowen over Son?
I'll go Bowen over Son, then Son.
Yeah. Son next.
Yeah. Well, it depends on like
So
the injury kind of things.
Yeah.
But if Bowen's like training and stuff, and Bowen's likely to start, I'd favour Bowen over Son. I don't know on this predicted table whether the 4.4 predicted points of Bowen is taken into account 25% he may not play. So if you add that 25% on, he'll be up there with Son with a similar expected points from our friends at Fix. So yeah, I'd go Bowen and then Son, I think.
Okay, there you go. There you go, Cruyff. Get it on Bowen if you've got him. Get it on Son if you haven't.
And I saw some
it's your
stats.
choice. That's just advice.
We know as well on Bowen. So at an additional point, we know Antonio, I think, is generally out from an injury, and like Bowen, I think he scores. I saw some stats that the average points per 90 when he's playing striker is by some extent a lot better than when he plays winger as well, right? So you got to be confident of Bowen. If he plays with Antonio out, he'll be the striker, right? So yeah, I think that's promising. But yeah, fingers crossed in a selfish way that he's got a minor injury where he misses that kind of ripe Burnley fixture. But yeah, Burnley and then Son. I'm not Burnley. Bowen and then Son. I'd put it.
And then Son. You must be sat there if you're like somebody like Danny Ings. We appreciate Danny Ings must be about 40. But like you're not getting a chance if you keep starting a winger over you up top.
Whatever happened to Ings? Like, it was two bad moves into Villa and West Ham, right? I loved him. I loved him from a fantasy point of view, but yeah.
I'll be honest. I think moving to Liverpool was his downfall. He didn't not in a bad way because it was a great move from a career point of view. But then he just He was bagging 22 a season for Burnley, moved to
Where
Liverpool,
did he
and
go after Liverpool?
didn't get the
Though?
opportunity. Southampton, I think we sold him to.
Yeah, because he
He
was
scored
bagging for
against us.
Southampton. Yeah, he was bagging for Southampton. He was
Yeah.
great for Burnley.
Yeah.
Yeah, Liverpool. He was never going to kind of be a start. Then he went and he did have injury problems. Then it was Southampton where he did well. But went to kind of Villa where it was like, I think it was Dean Smith winner, so they were playing 4-4-2, and then it moved to Emery when it's a different formation, and Watkins was always going to be better. Yeah.
He's just not getting a chance at West Ham really, but you can't get it with the talent that West Ham have got up top. So fair enough. No questioning David Moyes. Hope you're listening, Moisey. Good to see you. Our mate Kyrie is thrown in. Kyrie Irving. Hello, Kyrie. An interesting question. So it's not really about your FPL team or transfers or anything like that, but he sees a lot of activity which is looking at Hall of Fame players tinkering with their other teams with other Hall of Fame players. So he wants to know whether that's something you do. Do you speak to other top 5 players in the world and chat to them about what they're doing, where they're doing it, why they're doing it, or do you just kind of just look after yourself?
Nah, but I mean, to be honest, if Fabio Borgia was publishing his moves, I'd probably be quite influenced by that. It'd be quite a tried and tested way to get great ranks, right? Kind of better than kind of copying me. So, do I? I mean, to be honest, on X and kind of Twitter, it does seem to be a bit of a snobby way of looking at it. But I'll look at people's bios, and if they're like Hall of Fame or good ranks and stuff like that, I will take a bit more precedent on what they're saying. And if there's an interesting idea, I'll be like, that's thought provoking. But I've got to label it in the right way. So I do some stuff with Fix as part of the Elite 11. I don't think any of the Elite 11 now are like top. I think in previous seasons, I was probably the highest ranked one. Now I think I've come down a little bit. So there's some good players there, and there's a Slack channel there that kind of like we just chat with some of the Fix guys, really, mainly as a reminder for us to reload our teams and stuff like that. It's some good discussion there, but like it's all discussion points. It's not like a copying thing. And like to be honest, I mean, I feel like
just saw him fix this. Go on, sorry.
I was just gonna say I feel sometimes quite strong in my conviction. So like if I see something I disagree with it, I disagree with it. If there's something that I'm already thinking of and then someone says it, I'm just using that as extra validation. So I guess somewhere in between, Kyrie, to be honest. It's like there's not like a elite kind of message kind of group where I'm kind of asking the top players what are they going to do. I'd love to do that. I'd kind of I would be tempted to copy some of them, but because a few of us do some stuff with Fix as part of the Elite 11. Like there's a Slack on there, but it's more like, have you seen this injury news? Please reload your team. So it's good, and there's more like kind of joking chat and stuff like that. So it's that's probably the closest to it. And
so it's just banter more than actual advice. Pretty much.
I think so.
Updates.
I'll try and extend the invite to you, Dave. But like, exclusive.
Maybe one season when
I'll be the
I'll
doorman.
get one top. Yeah, I pretty much. I need
to
get one
top
10K
looking at your rank histories. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but I've got the top 50,000 3 times. Never a top 10K, unfortunately. And looking at the ranks on there, I think like most of us have had a top 10K finish at least 5 times. So give me 5 seasons, I'll be with you. FPL Brandon, big shout out to Brandon. He's actually shared our podcast a few times. So first time asking a question. So nice to see you, Brandon. Now he is looking at this week's fixtures and deciding who would you play. So he's got Sheffield United at home to Bournemouth is one fixture, and he's got Archer, or he's got Parma. Now Parma's away at Newcastle. So basically, would you rather play Archer at home to Bournemouth or Parma away at Newcastle?
That is a very tough question. That's a good one. I do like it, and we know Parma's been good, but he's been getting a lot of pens, isn't he?
A lot, 4.
Also, I say thank you the shout outs, Brandon. I mean, we would return the favour, but you're far more popular than us as well, so it won't help you out.
I mean, nothing.
So yeah, we get a lot more from you than the other way around. So yeah, I kind of appreciate that. I'd probably go. I'd probably go Palmer. It's like I think Sheffield United are that bad, right? And do you know when I don't normally look at player ownership, right? But when it comes to a really close 50-50, I will look at ownership, right? And like, who are you going to be more annoyed of if they kind of score and go off? And I think it'll be Palmer, right? Because yeah, I'd imagine his effective ownership will be kind of higher. Newcastle, they won't get great against Bournemouth. I think they're still going to be quite a skeleton squad. There's going to be a lot of players out. So yeah, I'd go kind of Palmer just on in that sense. But I think it's a genuine close one. But yeah, as we saw, Bournemouth were okay, weren't they, against Newcastle? And Sheffield United are really, really bad. And we know Chelsea are actually very, very good from an underlying stats point of view, right? So yeah, I think I'm convincing myself more and more now that I think Palmer's the better bet there.
You know what? Just to back you up, so Archer, he didn't start against Arsenal, but he's pretty much started every other game. But I'll tell you his expected goal involvement.
He's the starter. Right? He is the starter for sure.
He is. He's gone up to 4.6 if anybody bought him a 4.5, so a bit of value. But against Brighton, his last game, expected goal involvement 0.15. Against Wolves, he actually got a goal, but his expected goal involvement was 0.08. Man United, when he last played in 19, 0.22. Against Fulham, he started 0.01. Against West Ham, 0.2. Against Newcastle, 0.02. Long story short, he hasn't had expected goal involvement data of his highest all season's been 0.22 in a game, and that was against Man United.
I just brought him up on the FPL site, so according to the FPL official FPL site, it's 0.11 expected goals per 90. That's shocking, isn't it? And I know, Palmer's inflated by his penalties, but like he's got decent expected assists as well. He's very creative, so he's far superior. And Chelsea are far superior. Sheffield United aren't that bad, so yeah, I think I was thinking it was a tight one, but the more we speak about it, the more I'm favouring Palmer. And I mean, sometimes you can be just relaxed psychologically, right? Like Archer's being bought as a bench fodder that will come off the 1 or 2 points when you have your worst injury crisis, right? Palmer, you've got him as a starter, so yeah, Palmer it is.
Is expected per 90 goal involvement. I know it's been massively inflated by his penalties of late. 0.98.
Yeah, well,
it's nearly an attack return a game.
Yeah, that's going to be like the second best in the league after, or third after Darwin and Haaland, right? But yeah.
There you go, Brandon. And if Archer outscores him, please show support for us still. We'd appreciate it. But if we give you the wrong advice. So yeah, there you go. Palmer's the shout. Transfer question of the week. FPL Thomas Jones, he's already been mentioned on this pod with Fun with Flags. But he's got Matoma. We spoke about the flags before, and Matoma looks like the one that is probably the one that the injury is probably real. Now, I know you're kind of toying with Chelsea a little bit from game week 16 when their fixtures swing. He's looking at it now. So he's basically looking at potentially selling Matoma now, get Palmer in whilst his price is 5.2, and not be overly happy with him for the next 3 game weeks, but you've got him in early. Do you think that's a good tactic, and is that what you'd do, or would you look elsewhere for the next 3 game weeks instead?
Well, it depends on the rest of the team, right? So players that are around Mitoma's price, which I think could be better, and you want. If you don't have Mbumo, I know it costs more, but I think you'd want him. Like he was very unlucky not to haul against Liverpool, right? So he's got Arsenal now, but he's proven he can play well against kind of good teams. And then if you don't have him, he's a player that you'll want for game week 14. So Luton at home, right? So I think Mbeumo is up there. I also think I'd favour Eze short term over Palmer. So just like you're reminded of the kind of fixtures, just to kind of compare it. Chelsea have Newcastle away, Brighton home, Man U away, Everton away, next 4. Palace over the same stretch have Luton away, West Ham away, Bournemouth home, Liverpool home. So I think they've got better fixtures from an attacking point of view. So I think Is it too early to go for Palmer? No, I think he's he's a good option, right? And you'll want, a lot of people want him, so getting ahead of the curve isn't a bad thing. But I think there's probably some options that may be a little bit better short term.
Yeah. Would you be opposed to using a transfer for game week 13? So as an example, Matoma out, Eze in game week for game week 13, and then for game week 16, Eze out for Palmer in. Would you be happy with that, or is it
That's
using
a good way.
two transfers?
Yeah, well, that's a good example of targeting the fixtures, right? So that's cool, but it depends on your wider team. So in isolation, I think that's a really good plan.
Okay.
Wide, more kind of broader, you got to look at your team and see like who else do you want to be moving. But like if you think you can spare that, I think that's like a good tact. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. There you go, Thomas.
So what's the answer then? Maybe.
Maybe is the answer. So I suppose that the answer was there's better options for the next 3 game weeks. So maybe go that way, and then look to bring him in game week 16 potentially. But differentials, we touched on this last game week, so we won't go back through the scores. But long story short, I managed to draw back level. So we are currently at 2-2. Sticking with the rules, under 5% for anybody that's new to us. The differential for me and Matt, we pick 2 plays each, both owned by under 5% of the FPL player base. And whoever scores the most points gets a little tick in the box, and whoever wins this week will go in the lead. Now, it is an odd game week, so Matt, you get to pick first.
Lucky me. So I'm going to go with a couple of principles. I'm going to go for people who are going to play for 90 minutes. They're going to be on set pieces and are playing shit teams. So I will start with Dom Solanke.
Big Dominic.
Yeah, so you can't pick him, right? So that's a... Well, I should have probably picked him as my second player to like pick the next one. But like, yeah, Solanke is 2.4% owned. So yeah, I'm really...
Is that it?
Wow. You are a maverick, aren't you?
That is low.
Yeah.
That is low. I'm surprised he's that low, if I'm honest. I thought he'd be a little bit
He's not glamorous
at
all, though, is he? He's like, I think FPL players like him because he plays 90 and he's on pens, but like, no one really talks about Solanke and Weiler. If you're talking football to people down the pub or just in casual conversation, I think
nobody
doesn't
knows.
come up. Yeah.
It's it's a good bit. I am happy for you to get a lot of points for that player. More than happy. Okay, so my first one is probably going to get questioned. So he's about 90 minutes and guarantees. He's played every game, started every game bar one. I'm targeting that West Ham Burnley fixture. I'm going for Paqueta. Now, you might ask why would I go Paqueta at 1.6% when Kudus is 1.4? And I'll tell you why. Last couple of game weeks, so I'm looking at expected goal involvements. So I'm ignoring game week 11 because Paqueta didn't play. But game week 12, Kudos has expected goal involvement 0.1. Against Everton in game week 10, 0.1. Against Villa, 0.04. Against Newcastle, 0.05. Against Sheffield United at home, 0.01. Paqueta, on the other hand, last game week, 0.48. Game week before, 0.24. Game week before that, 0.46. You get the picture. His expected goal involvement data is much better than Kudus. As a result, I'm explaining it far too much, but I'm going for Paqueta based on the data and the fixture.
Look at this guy. Live a little like you're just about the data. Like, look, what's a real match of football? Come on.
He's also scored in the cup, and he also scored. Did he score last game week or the game week before? Last game week he scored against Nottingham Forest, and he scored in the cup. So I'm hoping he's on a little bit of a run.
I thought he was going to get banned anyway, wasn't he? Wasn't he getting banned for betting offences?
Did he? That might have been the game he missed against Brentford.
Yeah. And what was it? Was he like trying to force a transfer move or something like that? There was some controversy. Anyway, I'll accept that. Like, good move. And you're going for something random, and just a great option right in front of you. So I will go for Crystal Palace's Eze against Luton away, and Eze is 3.2% owned. So I've got a free kick taker, a penalty taker, and a corner taker for an okay team against Luton. So yeah, happy with that. Happy with that. And why
Yeah.
you didn't go for him, I don't know. But yeah.
You know what? I should have. I should have gone for him, but I got carried away with the Burnley, the West Ham fixture. I
You
do
brought in like
like
a
it.
deep line playmaker, like.
Yeah,
No,
but
it's not.
yeah, he gets goals now and again. I'm quite happy with his. I can't believe Eze is less than 5% owned.
Well,
I thought people
he's
would be
been
all
injured.
over him.
He's only just come back.
Yeah,
I mean, so. And like people hated him early in the year because he was just shooting and not getting any goals, right? So
yeah.
I get it. But yeah, he's definitely.
Just like he'll do this weekend.
We'll see. We'll see.
But my second, I am going to do the dirty, and I'm going to pick a player that is playing against Liverpool because I don't like our chances at the weekend. And there's a player that plays for Man City who loves playing against Liverpool. He is 2.4% owned. His name is Bernardo Silva.
Okay.
Um, last game week he got an assist. Game week before 2 goals. Game week before an assist. He started to hit a bit of a purple patch. He's got in the last 3 game weeks expected goal involvement of 1.86. And yeah, when he plays Liverpool, I don't know why, but he pops in with goals all the time. You know, you've got those players that always score against you. He's one of them. So yeah,
No, I get it.
he might not start.
No, I mean that's what I was going to say. Is like, as obviously does he start, but I think he plays all the big games, and just because the control he offers, right? So I think he's going to start over a Foden. I'm quite confident of that actually. So like, yeah, I think.
Yeah, he started the last 5, and then the last 5 they played Arsenal, Brighton, Man United, Bournemouth, and Chelsea. So you see, yeah, you're right. Against the
Yeah.
bigger, the Chelsea, the Man United, and the Arsenal there. So I feel like he will start, and yeah, it feels horrible to to pick somebody against Liverpool, but play with your head, not your heart. So I'm going for Bernardo Silva.
No, this is a big deal, isn't it? So we need to be smart. Like, there's no need for loyalty.
Exactly.
What does the loser have to do even at end of season? Did we agree on that? I can't remember.
Oh no, there you go. Something to bring for next week. We both have to think. Or tell you what, comment in this comment on this about what the loser has to do, and be fair. Like, let's not make it like too bad. Something friendly.
Is it
But give
PG?
us some ideas. Yeah, we'll read some out, and we'll decide which one we think is the best.
Do you watch? I'm going somewhere with this, but do you watch Married at First Sight UK?
No.
Okay. Well, this is
I'm
going
not
to be
getting married to somebody.
no.
My wife will have to get divorced first. So it's
there's so where was I going with that? This is going to sound awful because like you've got no context in it, but on it there's like a nice guy. He's just finished now, but like there's a kind of quite silent guy called George who's on it. So he's like French UK guy who's like doing a bit of this and that, but he also does a lot of online gaming. And like his wife, who he kind of married, hated that he did online gaming, and also there's like a controversy around him doing squats as a forfeit for when he was like losing games offline. So yeah,
okay.
like no, that's too extreme for us. We're not doing squats.
Doing squats.
Yeah, not going down that route. So yeah, keep it.
Did see the one where somebody had to go and have a meal with a cardboard cutout of Taylor Swift. That's quite funny, but we probably won't do that one either. But yeah, send in your suggestions.
Cardboard cutout of Gabrielle, maybe game week 1 Gabrielle.
Yeah, which just weeping. But look who's in the centre of a defence, and we're in game week 13, and it is Gabriel. He's back. He's back with a bang. But yeah, won't touch on it too much with this. I think that the plans are relatively straightforward for me this week. It's one of 2 options, really. I'll get your thoughts on it, but just for those that are listening rather than being able to view. So we've moved on to now my game week 13 plans. So I've got 1 transfer at the minute, my team. So Areola away at Burnley. I've then got Lascelles at home to Chelsea, and then Gabriel and Saliba completing the defence, both away at Brentford. Across the midfield, same as most. Salah, who's away at City. Son at home to Villa, and then a lot of Saka as well. He's away at Brentford. Not the best fixture, but have to play him. And then maybe my differential across the midfield. Gibbs White again as my differential. Got an assist last week. Hopefully he can carry that on. But he's at home to Brighton, and then up front, Haaland with the captain armband at home to Liverpool. Watkins away at Tottenham. And then starting this game week, the main man from last time, Dominic Solanke, away at Sheffield United. So I've benched Cash because he's away at Tottenham, and then obviously Chucky and Taylor. The only real thing I'm considering is potentially moving Son on for Bowen. I'll be honest, I'm not in love with it. You made a lot of sense last week when you spoke about Son playing against higher lines.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably won't do it. Well, I'll be honest, what I'm kind of leading towards is rolling it. And then looking at next week when Son plays City,
Mm-hmm.
I can then bring in Bowen, and it also allows me to move Solanke to Darwin Núñez after Liverpool have played City,
Mm-hmm.
and I quite like that as a double move.
Yeah,
Liverpool
no,
City
I
go.
like it. I like it. I like it. I mean, let's wait to see what Son does. But like, I think your team looks good. I think your team, because of the fact you got Gibbs White against Brighton and Solanke away to Sheffield United, is probably going to look at those good differentials, right? I think they're going to
Yeah,
look a lot better than other things. So your team's looking good this week. I mean, I wouldn't be making a transfer. I'd be rolling it, and like, yeah, you've got nice options there, right? You don't have to make that move, but I get it. I
yeah,
get it, and future planning yeah, Chukwuemeka for both of us is going to be a bit of a problem, and like that gives you a route out of him. And I'm guessing when you get bring Palmer, and that means Gibbs White becomes your bench fodder then. So yeah,
pretty
I
much.
like it. I like it. Yeah, so I think
Yeah,
agreed.
good, good. That was told you it'd be nice and easy that one. We'll move on to yours and see what you're doing.
Yeah, so I've got one free transfer. So my real challenge here is there any moves? My team doesn't look great this week. Is there any moves that is worth making that transfer, or am I going to value having two free transfers next game? We can have the additional flexibility and to react to anything that happens this game week. So I'm probably heading in the direction of roll. I do have a few other options that are in mind. But yeah, my team looking quite mid, pretty averages. Areola, Cash, Saliba, Gabriel, Mbumo, Gordon, Son, Salah, Watkins, Darwin, and Haaland captaincy. Right. So I think across a lot of teams, the big teams are playing each other this game week, right? Liverpool and Man City, and then like there's a few other Spurs and Villa, Chelsea and Newcastle. Brentford aren't a big team, but yeah, Brentford got some good assets. They're playing Arsenal, so yeah, I think it's like, tracking towards not a great game week, but don't overreact. It's one game week in isolation, right? So you don't have to like panic about it. If I were to make a transfer, there's probably two things I'd consider. So Gordon, I don't like Gordon that much, to be honest. So I think I've got enough cash to move him to Eze, which I think would be an upgrade. I think for sure. Like I think Eze has the short term fixtures for sure from the next three: Luton, West Ham, Bournemouth versus Gordon's Chelsea, Manchester United, and Everton. I think kind of like Eze wins that. And in Newcastle, just looking a bit tired. So I guess key for me would be keeping an eye on whether Isak is kind of back, because I think Gordon looked poor, as did everyone against Bournemouth, because he was the focal point of a very poor attack. If he's playing on the wing, rested, and Isak's back, then there's more options, right? So that's something to consider there. But I'd like to bring in Eze, but like the question is it worth that transfer this week, or can I kind of wait? The other option that I'd be looking at, but is really marginal gain here, would be cash down to a cheap defender, whether 4.0 or below, or 4.5-ish kind of defender. So I don't like having cash in my team at the moment. He's not playing winger anymore, so his attacking returns are dried up, and Villa aren't great at defending, so they don't have great fixtures either. So I'd like to free up some cash from cash, but is it worth a transfer in its own right at the moment? I don't know. So yeah, I'll probably roll. Then order of like transfers. Then I would be looking to make it Gordon to Eze, and then cash to someone cheaper with a decent fixture this game week. So and I think you put other considerations, future planning, to help prompt me. So I appreciate that. That's very kind of you, my friend. Yeah, Chelsea's fixture swing in game week 16 is looking nice. So you'd want one or two free transfers moving into game week 16 to bring in a Palmer, bring in a Sterling, bring in a defender probably, potentially. Sanchez could be interesting. I don't like making goalkeeper transfers, but Areola's been stinky, right? So Sanchez could be
Yeah,
an interesting option. And yeah, kind of Cash, he ain't doing anything for me. I think the danger with Cash though is he does have a nice game week 18. He has the best fixture. You can,
he
yeah,
does.
Sheffield United at home. So
He does.
the longer you keep him in the team, the more you'll be obliged to just like keep him for that game week 18 when you're going to need to use your bench, right? So the reason why I want to get rid of Cash to a playing defender is so I can try and upgrade Carney, Chukwuemeka to ideally to Palmer, but I've got to free up Cash from a few places there to make that happen. So it might be difficult. But yeah, looks like he roll.
Yeah,
If not, SAM.
yeah. Could you see that being Son at some point? Are you kind of just going to stick it out with him? It depends on the stats, to free up that cash.
Could be Son if if he's poor against Villa again. I'd be like, I'd be tempted. It could be.
Yeah.
I don't think it can be Watkins because Watkins is the prime captaincy option, I think, for game week 18 against Sheffield United at home. Otherwise, his fixtures aren't great around that, but you want to keep Watkins there. It could be Nunes, actually, as much as I love him. Like fixture congestion and let's have a look at Liverpool's fixtures. So it's game week 17 and 18. He's got Manchester United and Arsenal. So he's got Man City tough. Then it's Fulham and Sheffield United, nice. Then it's Palace, United, Arsenal. That's not a great run. It's not the best, but I'd be loath to get rid of him. So yeah, the cash cows that I could use a Cash downgrade, a Watkins or Darwin downgrade, or realistically a Son downgrade to kind of someone to free up a bit of money. Son could be the most convenient option there, to be honest, because I think he's like 9.7 now. I think if I'm selling him, I'd probably get a bit of a profit. The fixtures ain't great,
It's
so
difficult though, isn't it? Yeah, but you sell him, you can't really buy him back.
We could,
because of that profit you've made.
I mean, to be honest, you're gonna have to move away from it eventually because, in Jan, he's going to be waived, right? For what's the championship that South Korea will be playing in? The Asian Championships, the Asian Cup. He'll be playing in that. I think Salah will be out as well. Actually, half my midfield will be out. And Mbumo will be in AFCON as well. Salah and and Son will be away as well. So, I've got Gordon.
Some transfers to go.
Yeah, I've got So it's a Son. You could.
The rest of it's okay though, right? So there's nobody else. It's just them three.
In my team,
I think the rest of them are all right. Yeah. Just looking through. I think the rest are okay.
Yep. But that'll soon come into the equation, right? So that it makes getting rid of some of these players a bit easier. So it's probably Son, unfortunately. But we'll see how he does against Villa, and maybe give him another game week after that as well before making any rash moves. So boring. Roll or
yeah, it's not boring when it makes sense, and that is it for the game week. Well, not the game week. The game week hasn't been yet, but that is it for the pod, should I say. So yeah, appreciate your time, Matt. Do you want to give us an update on if Wales have qualified, or do you just want to ignore that?
Well, it's 1-1 now.
Is it? Oh, right, okay, we'll ignore. Hopefully that's with the Croatia score.
But Brennan Johnson had a goal that's disallowed. But I think Croatia are still 1-up with a minute to go. So yeah, it's going to be the playoffs. Which
playoff.
I'm not sure how they work. I don't know where it's how it works home and away, where you get both legs, or where it's just one. I think back Wales at home to get a result against most teams. Like Turkey at the moment are not a bad team at all, and obviously beat Croatia the other month. Unfortunately, what killed us is a draw against Armenia this weekend, and last year kind of not last year, early in the year, kind of a loss at home to Armenia. But you've got to manage the expectations. It's it's not, you're betting on Johnson rather than Bale, right? He was a top 10 player in the world at at the time, which is quite a rare thing to say. I think England probably I don't think England until recently have been able to say they've had a genuine top 10 player for a long time. Right now, that's probably two with Bellingham and Kane, but maybe Rooney was flirting.
You're right.
For a bit.
Rooney,
So it does make
Gerrard, Lampard. But again, we're talking a
I wouldn't say a top 10 though.
Do
you know what I mean? At that time, I wouldn't say they were top 10. Like, I mean,
I'm obviously biased.
during their time, I think you could probably name 9 better midfielders, right?
Do you reckon? We're not going to try because you'll probably prove me right, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm biased towards Gerrard.
Iniesta, that's 2.
Zidane.
No, that's it. We're jumping between periods now, aren't we? Yeah, that's let's jump between like formations and periods. But yeah, I think obviously not. Playoffs it is then.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, well, hopefully, you'll get through in the playoffs, and then see there. Scotland have made it, I believe. I don't know how Ireland and Northern Ireland are getting on. But if it makes you feel any better, we've just drew with North Macedonia. So swings
What
around about all that jazz.
what was that? What was the squad? I saw Lewis started, didn't he? Which is cool.
Yeah, Lewis gave away a penalty, which really wasn't a penalty. That's how they scored. But played an all right squad. Watkins played. It was fringe players, but like Trent Alexander-Arnold play. The players that should be beating North Macedonia. They're all good Premier League players playing for good Premier League teams. So there's no excuse. You should be beating North Macedonia with the squad we had out, even if it wasn't a Bellingham Kane team. So yeah, it's just one of them, I suppose. But anyway, we're talking real football here. This isn't that is not what that's pod's for. So it's just
I've been in a bit of a distracted mode tonight. I've been taking you into all sorts of directions. Talking Cuba, talking about Married at First Sight, talking about qualifiers and
you like that though. It gives people a taste of the behind the scenes, Matt, and what you're up to, what you get up to in your personal life.
All sorts. I mean, it's because this is the second pod of our international game week ones, which we're probably the best at. Like fair play, consistently every week we're doing it. Every week we're doing it, even when you're jet setting. But it's more relaxed. These are the nice ones where we bring the personality out and have a good chat. It's a lot to do in one for a game week. There's a lot to cover in there.
Yeah. I've got some good news for you, mate. We've got 3 games in a game week coming up, 3 game weeks in a week coming up. So we'll discuss how we're going to tackle that at some point. But thank you for joining me this week, and hopefully I'll see you next week.
My pleasure, mate. You take care.
And thank you to the listener for joining us as well. Hopefully you learned a lot from us. If you did, please give us a like, please give us a subscribe. It really does help us out. And it just means that other people can find us as well. So they'll get the same, hopefully, benefits from us. But thank you again. And hopefully we'll see you next week too.